today's topic is SDLC, which is a basic core of any system that we have to follow. The system can be as small as when you are given a small program as part of, your practice, your education, or it can be as large as system. For example, if Pregrad has its own website or LinkedIn has its own website, so how to create such large scale systems. So everything has to go through this software development life cycle. So that is why this is a very important topic, and it enables us to deliver things in a very clean manner and make sure that we are making sure every step is we are following and we are delivering for the best thing. That is why the title also says deliver faster and smarter. So how smarter, right? So let's say, first of all, what is a software development life cycle? Can anybody, help elaborate the concept or wants to take some chance? So we should, understand by breaking it in two terms. One is software development, another is a life cycle. So software development is nothing but developing something in the software part using any core language or any technicalities that we have. Now, life cycle is something called a cycle. Cycle is like you are repeating something in the loops, and life cycle means something which exists, then in what cycle it should exist. So if you remember in your childhood, you must have understood and have read many times, you have gone through the butterfly life cycle, right? It goes through few phases. So similarly, software development also has to go through those phases, and those phases keep on repeating itself. That is why we say it as a cycle. It's not something like we start at A and we ended at D. No. After D, again, we have to go back to A and follow the same steps. So that is why we call it a life cycle, right? So these are all the steps of a software development life cycle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and again to 1. Now, why to 1 we can discuss later, but what are those 6 things that I'll tell you? So these are planning, analysis, design, implementation, testing and integration, and maintenance, right? Now, what are all these meaning? So planning means whatever you want to do, you have to plan for that. Same goes in the software development world also. You should know like what you want to do, how you want to do, by when you will be doing it. So, and how will you do it? So all these are part of planning phase, right? So there has to be a planning, like we have a requirement, should we plan for it, when should we plan for it, and how many resources we want it. All these are part of planning only, right? So once we have a planning, we have an analysis phase. Now, how does it differentiate from planning? Analysis is actually digging down into the requirement and analyzing what does the requirement say, how can we solve it, how can we not solve it, how much time it will actually take, so that our planning is aligned with that analysis, and we provide a estimate of in how many phases we will do, what will be the iterations of it, how many deliveries we will provide. So because we can divide it into many deliveries, that is why after 6 again comes 1, right? Then after analysis, there is a design part. Now design, what is a design, right? So for example, if you are making a home, in the home also you have to create a design or architecture. Okay, this and this, here I'll have a room, here in the room I will have a wardrobe, here I'll have a bed. All these are kind of a design, right? So these are just the sketches that is how my home will look like. Similarly, in the software also, we have to create a design that this is the front end, this is the backend service. In the backend, I want to use this component. For this component, I have to use this database management. In between, I have to use these many services. This is how will system, our internal system will look like. So all these are part of my design. So once we finalize the design, that means that is the backbone of our system. Similarly, I gave a house example. So once you draw your lines, once you draw your architecture of a house, that is the backbone of what and how it will be created, right? Once you have the design, only when you can ask the team to create your house. Similarly, once you have the software design, then you can ask your team to implement as per that. And again, design can be broken down into two phases, which is a high level design and low level design, which we will discuss later that what is the difference between these two. Now comes the implementation phase. Most of the people concentrate only in this point 4. In your education also, you must be learning like write a program like this, or this is a data structure, this is the algorithm that you should follow. All these are part of just the implementation phase. So when you have smaller problems in hand, how would you implement that? What code you will write for that, or what database query you will write for that? Those are the implementation things. So people get confused when they study that this is all we have to do in software development. But seeing this cycle, this is on less than 20% of the complete software development life cycle. So yes, but this is very important because this is the, without this software cannot exist. But this is not the only important part of the software development, and you have to learn many more things rather than just the coding and the DB queries, right? So when you are learning, make sure that you are learning each 6 parts rather than just the writing the code or writing the queries. Now comes your testing and integration, which is what you have written, is it working as per the expectation or not? And if you have written small modules, when we run it together, that means integration, right? So does all of them work in a fine way when they are integrated together? So for example, if we take a simple example of a motor and a pipe, right? When you switch on the motor, it's running. When you take a pipe and just push water from it, it is going well, right? So your motor and pipe both are fine. But is the nozzle of motor, size of nozzle and size of your pipe compatible enough? Can you connect both of them, or you need an in-between connector for them? So how would you integrate your motor with your existing pipe is also one thing that only then you will be able to give the water supply, right? So that is why integration is also very important. You might have built two successful components, but together will they work or not? How will they work? Do you need any third component to make them work? All these things are part of your testing and integration. And finally, you give that to production, you maintain that, you provide your post-deployment services. And once you have created one part, again, you have to fall back to another part of that software or maybe another project. So this is how the complete software development lifecycle looks like. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I know I have spoken a lot in one shot, but still I'm open for questions. Once everybody is aware, then we will move to next slide. No questions? Sure, seeing a lots of thumbs up. Yeah, so this is again saying the same thing, that what are the phases and what is the purpose of this, we have already discussed. Now this says what are the importance of SDLC in software development. So these are just some of the importance and advantage that we can say, that why should we follow SDLC, right? You will say normally also we can build the software, why to go through so much phases, we can directly jump into implementation, right? So why this is important? Because one thing is systematic approach. So you will not never be working alone while developing any system. There will be a team of multiple people, maybe 10, 15 if it's a big project, or at least 5, 6 people, even if it is a small project, right? So how would you collaborate with each other? How would you take a systematic approach with each other? And how would you get a clarity that who is working on what part and how will I integrate with that person, right? So it provides you a clear and structured framework. It ensures that all aspects of software development are covered. So two people are working on something else, one people is working on something else. Every aspect should be covered completely. So when we say, let's for example, design part, not everyone is capable of doing a good design, but not everyone is capable of doing a good testing, right? So that is why we should have a very diverse team, and we should follow that systematic approach. Parallelly also, if we follow that, we can run multiple projects. So for example, if we have a very diverse team, each one is expertise into each of the areas. While someone is implementing one project, another one is already planning for second project, and another one is already working on system design of third project, right? So that is how by following the systematic approach, we increase our deliverables also. Second is a risk management. So it helps identify and mitigate risks early in the development process. So while planning and analyzing, we can identify the risks and we can make sure that we do not fall into those risks. If we don't plan wisely, if we don't analyze properly, there is a chance of high risks that can happen, high failures that can happen into the system. Third is a resource management that, yes, we already discussed. It facilitates better planning and allocation of resources, and so that our budget is also aligned according to that. Then is a quality assurance. It assures your testing and validation leading to high quality and more reliable software. Because we have a proper testing and planning phase, both of them help us into providing a good quality software. Now we have a predictability and control. So due to this, we have a better estimation of project timelines. If we have a project timeline and we know which resource will work on that, we have a resource management, then we also know our cost and outcomes of that project. So that means we have a good predictability of our project and we have control on all the complete the project management. Next is a customer satisfaction. So by following this structured approach, it ensures that final product meets the user requirements and expectations. So these are two things that follow here. One is when we are freezing in the planning phase with the customer and we are delivering the same, the customer will be more satisfied. If we are not planning, we are not freezing the requirements with the customer, he can keep on changing, or the expectations maybe are not clear, so customer will not be happy. Second thing, if we follow this SDLC in a phase wise, we can give iterative deliveries to the customer and he will be easily able to see the progress that we are making. So customer will be more happy. So how would you like to see your home, building a home? So you give a contract and person says you, okay, come after 1 year and your home will be ready. Or would you like to go by every 2 weeks or every 1 month, visit them and see the progress, that how much is the build, what is the progress, what is the cost of everything, right? Obviously, you would be willing to have more visits in between the process rather than just looking into after 1 year. So that is how this ensures a more customer satisfaction also, right? So do we know all the importance of it? Is it clear, helping you guys understand why SDLC is important? Yes, please. Good to have someone is having a question. No? Okay. Yes, Avisha Jadhav, you raise hands. Okay, if there are no questions, we can move ahead. So guys, this is again a traditional overview. We have already gone through it. So I'm skipping this slide for you. If anybody have any question, I can take a pause and we can discuss from these points. Yeah, Shekhar Park. Shekhar, you have a question? Okay. Now we have one more thing into it, which is agile methodologies. So what is agile and how it is different from SDLC, or how it is similar, or what are the correlation between both of them? So agile is a set of principles and practices for software development emphasizing on flexibility, collaboration, and customer satisfaction. More or less the same thing, right? Its core values are individual interactions over process and tools, working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, and responding to change over following a plan. So into agile, there is something which is a very flexible plan that we have to create rather than sticking to the complete life cycle. Okay. What is that? Means although we are following the plan, although we are still into the same cycle, But rather than following a waterfall model, now what is a waterfall model? Waterfall means you are strictly following all 6 phases, right? Rather than following that, you have a smaller set of deliveries, smaller set of planning within the SDLC. Usually people take it a 15-day planning only. And for the next 15 days, you you will commit what you will do as part of this. In between, you will have a call with your customer in between those 15 days only for next set of 15 days. Okay. So that is why this is agile. This is more customer collaboration. This is responding to change more than sticking to a plan. So again, agile looks the same, but in between we have a new thing, which is feedback. So every time we get a feedback and we plan according to that feedback can be basis what you have developed, or can be a completely new feedback which customer is bringing from something else also, right? So this is just one change into agile which we integrate into this, right? Again, the same things. These are all the key phases apart from only one, which is retrospective. Now, what is a retrospective? As I said, that generally 15-day cycle is followed. After the in between 15 days, I told you that planning of next 15 days has to be done. And in between those 15 days, there also has to be a retrospective of previous 15 days, right? That what we did, how we did, what what we did in a correct manner, which we should, follow in the future, and what thing we done bad, which we are learning something. What should be the action items out of that learning outcome? And basically, what we call is a what went well and what not went well, right? So that is a retrospection that we do from over the previous 15 days for the complete team. It's not for a complete one project only. Overall, for the complete team, whatever projects were there, whatever happened, whatever phase it was, we should do that retrospective meeting through which we identify all the improvements and all the plus points so that people feel motivated as well, right? So all these things are part of retrospective also. So now these are some benefits and challenges of agile. So the benefits is faster time to market, higher customer satisfaction through continuous feedback, and better quality through iterative testing and integration. Because we have a smaller span of time into this, so there is a high satisfaction and better quality because we are testing smaller set of code. Obviously, within 15 days, you won't be able to write such a big project that you're testing it for 1 month, right? So you're testing small chunks, so you are maintaining the high quality also. Now, what are the challenges? So the major challenge is a team collaboration. Because you have a bigger team, so every time bringing the team to the meetings to collaborate, to provide some small chunks of deliveries is little difficult. So it requires a high collaboration, a good team management, right? And now it says can be difficult to scale in large organizations, but this challenge is overcome by making small teams in the large organization. Obviously, you cannot handle a 15 days life cycle with a team of 100 people. So the teams are also divided into smaller chunks so that this agile methodology can be followed easily. And then need disciplined approach to maintain agile. So that disciplined approach is maintained using the 15-day or 10-day or whatever cycle that any company wants to follow. That challenge is met through that. But again, that has another challenge of the smaller the cycle that you follow, the more the meetings you have to keep. So it has to be a wise decision, like how long the cycle has to be kept. Yes, Aishwarya. Okay. Yeah. So this is all from this slides also. So if any questions are there, we can take it.